what in the world is happening in Ohio. What you just witnessed was the fourth major, massive industrial fire that's taken place in the state of Ohio in less than a month. According to WLWT5, the NBC affiliate locally there in Cincinnati, fire crews are on the scene of a large fire on Arlington Street off of Spring Grove Avenue. First responders tell WLWT that the fire is coming from the Reliable Castings building. Fire officials confirmed to WLWT that it is a 6-alarm fire. Use caution. And of course, that's pretty much the only news that we're going to get from them or anybody about this. There was another fire last weekend that we covered over at thelibertydaily.com that got no attention. Again, in Ohio, this is the same state, obviously, where a month ago we had the ecological disaster, East Palestine train derailment that was turned into a controlled burn of chemicals that are apparently killing at least animals and polluting the water supply, polluting the air, and people are very, very concerned, and rightly so. They should be concerned. They should very, very much be concerned. So what's going on with all these new fires? They're kind of staying below the radar. Again, I can't find very many people covering them at all. Now let's go through the possible scenarios here. The one that I think many people would consider to be most likely, because there are still people out there who believe in coincidences. The prevailing theory is that it's just a coincidence, just a strange happening. This is just it's the fourth major industrial fire to happen in the state of Ohio in less than a month. It's, of course, this happened right after East Palestine, but it is what it is. Just, when it rains, it pours, or something to that effect, right? That's the prevailing theory. I'm not going to buy into that, but I've got to note it because, like I said, most people would probably think that, despite the fact that we are in the United States of America. At least we're still technically the United States of America here in the year 2023. And if there's one thing that we can say about the overregulation, the nanny state, the regulatory industrial complex that has become so prevalent in our nation, it's the fact that it is designed, at least partially, one of the quote unquote good things that it does is that it's supposed to prevent stuff like this from happening. There's a reason why we don't have the same type of challenges that other nations have. It's because we are overregulated. 99% of the things that are associated with overregulation are bad. It stifles innovation. It makes people gun shy. It harms the economy. It pads the pocketbooks of those who are pushing for this bureaucratic state to become larger and larger and larger. I can go up and down the list of negatives when you have an overregulated nation. But the one positive is that, hey, at least there's fewer fires, right? Well, not in Ohio, apparently. Apparently, Ohio is the exception to that particular rule, and not in a good way at all. So, yeah, I'm not buying the coincidence thing. Maybe you are. It is what it is. Option number 2, as far as theories, is that this is just, arson. And we're talking about semi-random arson. Maybe it's just somebody who has a beef. Maybe it's copycats. It's multiple people. Maybe it's just somebody who is mentally ill. Maybe it's some climate change cultists who are getting together and doing this. I don't know, but it does seem conspicuous that we are talking about specifically four industrial buildings, specifically in the state of Ohio, and all within a very short period of time. And of course, then there's the notion that since it's not getting coverage from corporate media, that seems to be where you should look. If you really want to find out what's going on, don't go and talk about the stories that corporate media is talking about. Look at the stories that they're ignoring, and this is going to be another one of those. Option number 3, and I'll put this one as a very, very slim option, but enough of an option that it is possible. And to come to this particular conspiracy theory, and let's note, I have no evidence of this at all. This is just pure speculation. I mean, as speculatory as possible. But if I put on my evil globalist cabal member hat and I get it on there and I try to think, how could this be in some way part of a massive major conspiracy? The first thing that came to mind and seems to check out is that following the controlled burn of chemicals in East Palestine, Ohio, they knew that they could put together a chemical airborne cocktail of disaster, of destruction, of menace, of long-term and even potentially short-term major damage done to the United States. And the way they figured it is, hey, if we got these chemicals in the air, if we can get these chemicals in the air over here and these chemicals in the air over here, and wait till the wind's blowing perfectly and we get these chemicals in the air over here, and it's like, well, how do we can't just keep derailing trains. And it's like, oh, no, we've got a better idea. What if we have industrial fires? And we get these industrial fires ready, and we get the right chemicals in the mix, and we get them, and we make sure that they burn. And meanwhile, the plastics and whatever else is burning in these industrial fires, they're going, and nobody's ever going to notice. All the evidence is going to be burnt up by the time they even realize, what is this barrel doing here? We don't recognize this. It'll all be too late, and corporate media will tell them, nothing to see here. Go about your business. Reporting about, go rip on Trump or something. Go do something else. I'm not saying that's likely. I'm not saying it's really even very possible at all. I'd put it at 5 to 10% chance, maybe a lot less than that. But it is 2023. This is the United States of America, and yes, the globalist elite cabal is trying to destroy us. So, again, if I'm putting on my evil cabalist hat, that's what I came up with as a possibility, I guess. I don't know. It sounds ludicrous, but let's face it. Just because something sounds ludicrous in today's world doesn't mean it's not true. It's unfortunate that in America in 2023, we have a hard time finding doctors and pharmacists and pharmaceutical companies that we can trust. I have been able to find one that I trust wholeheartedly based upon the trustworthiness of the doctors and the people involved. It took me a little while to vet them out, but I've finally come to the conclusion that the wellness company is definitely worth it. You can check them out at jdrucker.com/well, jdrucker.com/well. And they don't just sell supplements and stuff like that they do that, but they do more than that. They have services available that can help you, for example, to break free from big pharma's grasp over our lives. They help people to even get away from pharmaceuticals altogether. Where have you ever heard of a medical company that does that? So check them out, the wellness company, at jdrucker.com/well.